Hi everybody. We're waiting a little bit more, a few more instants to let people jump into the live. Okay, let's go. Good morning or good evening. It depends where you're living. I hope you're doing well. And today we're going to look how to write tests for CLN plugins. And the two sessions before, the two live sessions before, we've seen how plugins works and how to write them with a pyln-client Python package. And today we are going to write the important part is really to write the test more than the plugin that we are running, because the plugin that we are building is the following, that we are going to call it my plugin, as we did in the previous session. We are going to write it with pyln-client because it's really a simple one. The pyln-client works very well. And we are defining one method, which is called myConnect, which just is will connect to another node, and we use this as an example to do some to see how we can write the test. So we are going to do the test first. So in the sense that if you know a little bit about TDD, but it's just a word, it's not a word, but a way of doing the test. So we are going to write the test first and make them failed, and then we look at what we can modify in our plugin to make it work. At the moment where it works, we go back to the test, we make it fail again till the point where we have a test, and that test this plugin that define myConnect. So let's jump into the test. So I have some boilerplate to start. At the top, we see that we import things from pyln-testing. So the fixture, we import everything. Here, the plugin path is only to when we start the test, we have the full path of our plugin that we're going to pass either here in an object, not an object, but a dictionary that we pass to start our node that this is going to be passed as an option, or we are going to just use the path directly to start the plugin. Here is the way, so test my plugin dynamic start, because we are going to first try to start the plugin to test that the plugin starts correctly. And here, this is the argument that is passed to each test, which is an object with the one we can do many things, and that we do almost everything to test. We use pyln-test, so we are going to see, and pyln-test look in the test that we run, look for function or classes. Well, we are not doing classes today, so I won't talk about the classes, but that's for the function that start by test underscore and the name of following the name of something. Let's jump into my plugin to see something, and we are going to here is the boilerplate to start with the plugin with a pyln-client, a simple one that just return foobar. We see that after, but here we have a line that that will return an error if we run that that plugin. So we want that error to see something that it will doesn't work. So first thing first. So here. Now we go to our terminal, and we are going to python-m-valve. So we, as we did always, we build a virtual Python virtual environment. We activate it. So bin, and this is activate. So it is activated. We can check which Python. So the Python, this is targeting the right one. Now we're going to install pyln-client and pyln-testing to do the test. So here they are running. And I don't present how PyTest work, because we are not using the full possibility of PyTest. Just we have right now, if we as we install pyln testing, I think that we have PyTest 2 that is a dependency. So maybe which PyTest. So yes, we have a PyTest install, and we are just going to use it at the command line and test our things. Go back to our test, and first thing, when we want to test something, we write assert, and first thing first, we're going to have a simple test that fails to be sure that something is happening. I don't know if you work like that, but this is how I do the thing. One thing to mention: if you write your test with PyTest, you have to write them with a prefix test underscore. This way, if you have a test under a directory recursively, PyTest will find those tests, and it's better. So let's start it. All right. Okay, so this is not exactly what I wanted to do, but anyway, we have it. It's taking as we are doing a test here with the node factory and the fixtures that we have. Each time we do a test, we construct. We are going to construct. Yes, it's called the factory. Bitcoin running on the red test and everything to be able to really run things on red test, as we did previously when we were in the last episode, when we were starting red test, starting some nodes and doing some things. So it might take some time. So here we can start to understand how the output of a PyTest is. At the end, we have the summary of the test. So we have something that failed as CLN assert 0.1, and we can see here, but at which moment we started to have a problem. So we are doing the test in the test my plugin dynamic start. We wrote something wrong, and now we have the that thing. Go back here. So we no longer want this one. Okay, so this assert we commented out, and we can see here that with the node factory we can create any amount of node that we need to test. So if we are doing a rebalancing, maybe we need 3-4 tests. As we need only one test, we can write it here, node factory dot get node, and this will gives us a node where we can do stuff with it. So for instance, call RPC command and recuperate some information. If we define a method, as we are going to do today, we are going to be able to call that method and then test with assert. And here with the key ops, we can pass the option that are passed to the node before starting it. So why I'm showing you that? So remember in my plugin, so far we didn't tried to start my plugin. Okay, so if you see there in the test, there's nothing before I commented those things. There were no things that were calling a plugin path. So nothing was touching our plugin. So we didn't have any error. If we go back to the terminal and we do Python the my plugin, and this produces that error. But if I'm as far as I understand, when you start a Lightning node, so when you start Lightning D with the option on the plugin that we add are return error at startup, the plugin the Lightning node start, but the plugin not. But we are not notified with errors. So this is what why I want to show you that on my plugin dynamic start is the following. So now let's do the test again, and the test should pass, because even if here we see that we have the plugin path that is to my plugin, and we've just seen that it doesn't work, as we pass it at startup time, it won't, not dynamic, statically started, we won't have this error. So this is what we see now. So it's a kind of when I was seeing that, it was okay. So it's great. And anyway, if after let's go back to testing, if we do stuff here and we try to call the method, we are going to have an error because the plugin is not started. But why not getting the error at startup directly? So here we no longer use it like this, and we are going to, yes, almost. So we started with nothing here, and now I should say not nothing, but without any startup option. And here we are going to do so RPC plugin start, and the plugin that we want to start is that one. Okay, so if I'm not wrong, this should produce an error on the error that we've seen before. So let's go back here. We do again the test. So this is, we are going to wait a few seconds. So mainly in that live today, we are going to wait 7 minutes in total to each time we run those tests, because the factory has to work and do those things. So yes, we see something here, and we see the failure, RPC call failed method, dynamic start. First time that we see the log. So when we have an error, we get the log. So which are in the file. I think it's called log. I don't remember exactly, but this is the log that we have. And here, the interesting part is that we have the error. So just I mentioned it. I don't know what is the best way. And on here we can see we have the complete message error that we get with the payload. And no, we don't have. Yes. Okay. So I don't know what is the better way, if it's normal to test or not that way, but just that you know, maybe the problem that you encounter is that your plugin is not starting, and if you are using this first method, you don't see you don't see it. Okay, so let's continue, and we can do something like. Okay. And we may want this one and this one. And now we are going to start my plugin. Test my plugin. This one we no longer want it. With PyTest, you can we can target. So here we can target the tests that we want. So there is this way. There is a dash key that allow to put something there to select the tests that we want in your file. And there is also, so let's just put this here. If we didn't have this commented and we have those two tests, but we just want to test the second one, we could write something like that. My plugin. So if we write the file or the path to the files that we want to test and the exact name of the test after 2 colons, this will target that test. But we are not going to use it here, and we just comment out this one and go back here and test my plugin. So let's just go back to the note to remember exactly what we want to do. Okay, so we want my connect. We have something like that. Okay, so maybe now we have one node, and so here we start the plugin. After we are going to introduce how to produce 2 nodes, because we are going to see how they connect. But before that, we go step by step. On this one, let me remember what I want to show you first. Okay, so when we start the plugin, okay, so here we have the plugin started. Normally, what we get is that we can call RPC. We can call my method, now my connect. Okay, so this is my connect exactly. And after we see that we wanted to take one argument, one positional argument, but so far let's go back to not. It's better when I'm talking to that. So here we see that my connect take one argument, and this is exactly the same argument that we can pass to the command connect, which is the node ID arrobas at the address, the host, colon, and the port. So, but we don't do that right now, and maybe we can just put a 1 to make it really not happy. Run that. Yeah, so now let's go back to terminal. Take a, it's not that it takes some time, but we are in the way. So we are going to have an error, and the error that we are going to have normally is just that, okay, this is the same error as before, that we have the plugin that didn't start, okay? So fail to start. So we've changed nothing because we are failing here. Now let's go to my plugin, and here we comment out this line, we uncomment this, and here is the plugin. So just we instantiate the plugin. Here we define my connect method, and the method so far don't take any argument and return foo_bar as an object. So let's just comment that, and this is what we have right now. Define the plugin that run. So we are going to see, but here what we are doing is that we are trying to use my connect because we think that as we started the plugin here at that line, we also have defined my connect. But as I told you at the beginning, the game of today is really to do the test, and to see them fail, pass, failed, passed, and get to the point where we have our final plugin running with all the tests that we want. So let's go to that, and we should see an error, that is that we try to call my connect method, but we didn't define it because here we've commented that part. So let's see what we have. So it failed. Okay, so this is better. So, and I like to see the error messages. So we see, if you follow with me, failed test plugin. So the test that failed, this is an RPC error, and RPC called failed method myConnect. So this is really that thing that the method myConnect didn't work. Let's go a little bit more here, so that we can have a better so myConnect better, and the error code here we have unknown command myConnect. Okay, fine. This is exactly what we wanted to do. Just to mention, maybe we can from now use -v, which runs the test, and they are more the outputs more verbose, but we still have the test failing. So we don't go to the test. We go here. Now we defined a method. So the next error that we are going to have has nothing to do with the method. We are going to be able to call myConnect, but where as we return foo_bar, the object foo_bar, we are going to have the error at that point. So let's run the test, and we have to wait a little bit. So right now you can see, as we wrote -v verbose, it exactly told us which test in the file test my plugin we are running right now. So let's see what failed. So yes, so cool. So now we start to have something a little bit more interesting. So this is an error that we provocated, but we know now that when we call the method works. It returned that we were thinking what we thought should be returned, but we test it with 1. Okay. So let's say that we would like to see something a test that don't fail. So we run the test again. And we are going to see what we have. Maybe we can go back to my plugin to see what we're going to do after. Okay, test my plugin. Okay, so the test, as we can see, is passing. Okay, great. So now we have a plugin running. We know how to call that plugin here. So just to summarize what we did so far. Node factory, we get a node. Then here we start the plugin. As we started the plugin, we can use the method that we define. We test it again. This dictionary that we return. This is the same. This is passing. Great. So let's continue. I do a little break, and I will go to see if we can chat a little bit, if you have some question, or maybe are there a better way to do that. So Alex, PyTest automatically test any function. So from Alex, PyTest automatically test any function that start with test. So it's convenient to use that convention. And I can, okay. So you can disable Valgrind to speed up the test. Valgrind 0, PyTest. Okay, thank you. Pyln-testing turns it on by default. Okay, thank you, Alex. So if you have any question, leave them in the chat. So I will just test what mentioned Alex. So this should be faster. So let's see. Okay, maybe it's a bit faster. We can leave it. It doesn't hurt. I will have to look at what does Valgrind do. So if there's no question, we can maybe we have question so far. Can wait a little bit. If there's no question, I continue with the test and everything. Okay, seems to be okay. Still with me, so we continue, and we're still doing it with that, and we go back to test my plugin. So as I said before, when the test passed, this is the moment to make it failed. So here we were defining one node, and we are going to need 2 because we want to connect 2 nodes. So let's I hope that you see what I did. So get node and get nodes, and we want 2, and now we're going to call it L1, L2. So we are going to have 2 nodes. Still, we want the plugin to be started in the node 1, so we leave it as is. This one I comment it right now, and we're going to play a little bit here before. to see exactly what the command connect, to remind what the command connect expect these arguments. So resource in Lightning, we have this script that help us to start, for instance, here to node on reg test. So we are going to start to node, just test the command connect to see exactly how to remember its first. So CLI and what we want. Okay, so the command. No, we want the node L1 to connect to the node L2. So here we can do F to flatten the result of the object. The method getInfo, and maybe as ID and binding. So I'm a bit sitting here because I know that I want ID and binding, so I'm filtering them with RG. But anyway, this is the one that we want. We have the ID, we have the address on the port, and now we can first L1 CLI list peers to see that we don't have any peer, and now we can connect. This is the command that we are going to use in our plugin. We want to connect to so up we have it here at the end, and 127.0.0.1 and the port 2. We have that. So normally we are connected. We check it with list peers. Okay, so now we have the peers, and what we want really, we are going to need from the node L2. We are going to need those things. So I take that part. We are going to copy it because it will be better to see it there. We are not going to use it exactly like that, but just as we see here, we use getInfo. The same way in that part, L1.rpc.myConnect. So we used the RPC method that we defined. We can use the already defined RPC method from Lightning D. So L2, maybe we want L2 info. Okay, so this will be something like RPC get info, and we call it. So we have it here. So we are not going to run the test right now, but what we want also is the node ID. So the node ID is going to be L2 info, and we want where it is. Okay, so we just take the ID. This is that part. So I comment the part that we did. We did the get info. Now let's continue. And this is not the L2. We want the address. So maybe there are faster way to do it. I don't look so much to see what we could have done, but let's do it like that. So we have the get info, and now we want binding. We want the first element of the binding, and we want the address. I hope I'm not doing typo because they're annoying. So now we have binding of port. So it seems to look like something like that. So binding 0. We want the address. We took that from everything. So here we have something like that. We can put that here to keep it just in case. So what we are doing right now, we want to connect to the node L2. So at some point we are going to need to have the node ID this one, and those information to do the connection. So we get those connection. Now, okay, so L2 ID, and we remember terminal. Remember what we did in the terminal? We don't need to do it like that, but we did something here. So to connect, we can pass we can pass argument with the name, or we can pass this argument. And what we want to do here is to call it with just a positional argument, which is this one. So we are going to do it that way here. So L2 ID is going to be L2 node ID at the next part is the L2 address. So L2 address. Next we want this, and the port is a number, so we have to cast it to a string to do that. So L2 port. So we have something like that, and now this is no longer failing, but we are going to make it fail, because what we want to do at some point is really to call up. Sorry for the movement. We want to call myConnect with this ID of the node L2. Okay, so this is something that we want. So now we call it here in the test, and we are going to see that it fails. I was going to say miserably, but it's not miserably, it's just that it fails. So let's do it like that. I didn't put background because it wasn't much faster, and as I don't know how it works, I prefer not to use it. And my work to learn what it does for the next episode. Next slide. So it fails, cool. So each time something fails, I'm super happy because we get new information. So here we see that the payload that we passed is that one. But here it's a kind of, okay, so we have a failure, but we don't know exactly what is the failure. And normally we browse here. Yes, cool. So here we have the whole things, and we can see that where is the message? Okay, so we have the message here. So error while processing myConnect, too many positional arguments. So we knew that, and we can also print the traceback if we want. But this is normal because we are calling my method myConnect. So go back here, myConnect with one argument, and we didn't pass that argument. Let's go back to my plugin here. And now, for those that were here at the last live, or maybe you've seen the one of the new videos in LN Room, to add a new positional argument or a new argument here, we add to the method that we call at the command line, we add argument here. This is the way to do it with a pyln-client. So we add the ID, and we go back to the test, and normally we're going to have a new error that is different. But it shouldn't be, or maybe there's no error. Okay, it will pass. Normally it should pass, because now we have we added to myConnect an argument, and we're still returning foobar. Okay, so far so good. Now it is passing. So what is the next thing that we might want to do? Let's go back to not. Okay, and maybe we are going to look right now at the results that we return. Before any connection, anything, we are going to just look at that, and after we are going to really connect, test the connection, and that's it. So we change that because we want connect to, and we would like to be connected to the node ID that we pass. No, not the node ID, sorry. The construction of the node ID with the address on the port that is used by the command connect, sorry. So now we are going to fail because we still here return, we still returning foo bar. So this will fail. But anyway, we are here to fail as much test as we can. So it's also what makes me confident that I'm doing something in my plugin that is really making the changing that I want to have. So right now, this is not so bad. So we have that new assert. So we're still returning foo bar when we call my connect, but now we have connect to something that is the node. So we don't browse, we don't go up to see exactly what it is, but we are returning the kind of thing that we want. Let's go to my plugin, and here what we can do is we change this. Connected to, is it connected to? Yes, it's now connect. I wanted to write connected to, I'm sure. Yes, this was connected to. So just a little. We change that and connected to, and now we pass the ID. So terminal, we test, this should work. Right now, we change both the test and the plugin, but anyway, this is really a kind of a typo a test. Just we've changed to later, to character. Okay, so this is passing. Let's see. Let's go back to our test. So to see exactly what we have so far. So okay, we are calling my connect, and we are calling it with the right kind of ID. We are returning it that we are connected, but in fact we are not connected so far. So what we can do now is to test the connection. So let's go back to terminal here, and if we go to list peers, this is what we see. So if we are connected, we should have in list peers the peer key. So the array is the peers should have at least one element. As we are only running with two nodes, it should have exactly one element in our case. So we are going to test that. So how do I write that? How do we write this? So blah, blah, blah. Do we have to use it? Okay, let's call it L1 peers, and now so we call that not my connect but list peers. Let's just try not to make to make the typo. List peers, and is it? Let's just want to see something. I don't remember if list peers when it's empty. Yes. Okay. So the thing that I wasn't sure is that it always when we call list peers, it always returns peers, and if there is nothing, then at least the empty array. So we can go back here, and we can do that. We have the array, and now we want to test the length of peers, and what as we want to connect to one node, and this should have been done here in that assertion. We should see something like 1, but we won't see that if you are. So let's run again the test. So let's see. So we should have an error, but we're going to be super happy as the whole live is about being happy to make mistake. But maybe I don't we don't have much information here, but we get 0 on the length, so that means that we don't we have 0 length of peer here, so that means that when we try to do something, that we are not connecting to another node, which we would like to be the node L2. So, okay, no worry, we can do this there. So here, so if I do it right, we have access to the object RPC, plugin RPC, and now we can connect. So we call it connect. So just to be clear, the game of today is not to write an interesting plugin. So it's really to do the test and see how we can match them with the plugin, because we are doing nothing right now that is not already done by Core Lightning. So here we pass the ID, and normally we should be connected. So this is exactly what we did at the command line. L1-CLI connect with the ID. Let's go back to our terminal, run the test, and now we should have true. So let's go back to the test to see a little bit more about the test. So yes, we should have a true. What we are going to do after, we are going to, because I don't want to take too much time, because I would like to have this session last only 1 hour. So it fails. Okay, so maybe I'm going too fast, thinking that I'm doing the right thing, but I'm doing the wrong thing. So okay, so we failed at that moment. So this is where we should fail, but didn't we change that? So plugging RPC connect. It's great. It's getting spicy. So let's see. We should be connected. Let me just a moment to let's see what I'm missing. So test my plugin. So here we get the peers of L1. Normally here we connect to the node. So what am I missing? Okay, let's just try something like that. I don't know why this doesn't work, but maybe we can just say something like that. response of the connection. It should have nothing to do with that, but anyway, we can still do that. Maybe it's important. I don't know. Response. This should be this. My plugin. So my plugin, we are going to call plugin RPC connect. We want to connect to the ID that we pass. So we should be connected. So, okay, let's run the test again and see if we can have or the test passing or a better error that can lead me. If someone that is following along have an idea of what I'm missing, I would take help. Ha! Okay. Anyway, we are going to figure that things, because if we don't connect, this is not. Okay, so sorry for that. Huh? I'm looking for the wrong thing that I'm doing. What can what? Okay. Okay, so what I propose you to do is, because I want to do something, I want really that things to work, and maybe what is the length? In terminal L1 CLI, the get info. I just want to see if we have something. Remember, if we have we have the number of pending channel, but here we have no number of peers set. We have one peer, number of peers, so we have one here, as you can see. So if we are connected, we can see the number of peers here in get info. So let's change what we are doing here, and L1 okay, yes, I have it. So woohoo, sure, this is a fantastic programming. Just something stupid that I did here. I let you see if you see something that is shocking. So yes, this is shocking, because I'm writing L2 underscore info, and I'm doing the thing on the node L1. So everything. So here we are trying to connect to no. Here we are trying to connect to ourselves. So we removed that. We take back this one. We do it correctly there. And now we should have a test that pass. I hope it pass. It's so funny, huh? It's super funny. I don't know you, but it's often like that, huh? And maybe because I really wanted to have something working, I catch it. But sure, by myself with time, I will have spent 2 hours to find that I'm a bit stupid. So anyway, so here we've catch that we have one peers. So we are connected. So we can say that we are really connected. One thing that we could have done after is to check that we are connected to the right node by checking if we some of the things, but we are not going to do that. I just want to do another thing that we didn't do in the previous one, which is and it's really short if it works. It's to log stuff. So if we there are many commands that log stuff to say, well, yes, we are doing that. Now we're passing that with information, and we maybe want in our plugin to add a line that say we are in we've done something. So let's do that, and first we do it with a test, and this is the last test and last thing, and we wrap up with some time to chat together if you have any question. So let's do that. So we can do. So this is something that we can do for. Yes, so we can do L1 daemon wait for log, and here we can wait for something in the log of L1, and let's just write foo my connect. Here we can pass a timeout. So I don't know what is the default timeout. So I pass the timeout. This is going to check if we see that in the log, and there is there waits for logs too. I think that there is in the log. There is a function also that is wait for. So there are many things that can be done to wait for something before doing something else. And now, as we did nothing, we are going to see absolutely nothing. So this will normally this should fail, and this should fail with in 26 seconds, because each text that we passed today were around 20 seconds, 21. So I hope this works, and then we modify my plugin, and we wrap up with chat, question, suggestion, and anything. Okay, so cool. It failed, and here we see unable to find the compilation, the regular expression compiled of what we passed in the log. Okay, perfect. My plugin, and here, if we want to add something in plugin, we have log. Let's just don't make mistake there. This one we go there, and don't want that. We just want to add something to the log. We go back in the test. No, this is the one. Terminal. We pass the test. And we hope the test pass. Ta-da-da, ta-da-da. Yes, it passed. Okay, so the really last thing that we have our plugin working. Go back to the node. Now we are going to start it, use it. We start it. Okay, so we need L2 CLI. We want get info the L2. So we are doing with no. See, this is what we want. But we did it before. So connect. We have this one which is 03 blah blah blah. But now we are going to use it with my connect. Okay. So just to be sure that we are not already connected, so we are already connected. So okay, sorry, I terminated the process that was running with that terminal. So maybe it's just saying that we are done for today. But if you start the plugin, it will work, and you can look in the logs to get something. But it's we are done for today, and this is how I have today. So if you have a question and anything that you want to share, or you see a better way of doing some of the things that I've done, or PyTest, anyway, go in the chat. Alex is there too. You wrote reckless, so you can maybe can also have some insight on your question. Any question, thought, or anything about programming? Is there a practitioner of TDD or not?
People can also raise their hands, and we could bring them to stage if they want to ask in person.
Okay, cool. I didn't know. Okay, so Alex said, so Valgrind is usually used for memory checking, but it makes tests run 2 to 3 times more slowly. I guess it wasn't installed, so no need to disable. Yes, I didn't install it, so this should be for that we didn't have any difference in time, in running time. Okay, so maybe we can stop here. What do you think, Drew?
Yep, I was just going to say, if no one has questions, let's end it, and everyone have a good day. Thank you, Tony.
Have a good day, and see you in the next one.
Sounds good. Bye, everyone.